Hello, hello, hello. Hello, testing. Testing. Hello. Let's see if this works. Hello, everyone. Okay. I'm here connecting to work on, I'm going to work on integers. I'm going to work on decimals and fractions and mixed numbers. Okay, I'm going to do this session focused on some exercises about operations with fractions and decimals. And the idea is to work on many exercises of one topic so we can work on the different operations we can find with fractions and decimals. Now, what you need to remember about what we're going to do here before you start this session, this live session. So if you're here connected on live, it's good, nice to see you. But if you're not connected, if you're not connected online, just remember that we need to work on knowing how to add fractions first, and it's good if you know how to simplify fractions. Okay, if you know how to simplify fractions and you know how to add fractions, so you're gonna get the best from this part. And you also need to know how to divide natural numbers to understand decimals. We're going to work on many exercises here, or I'm going to do an example of each operation with mixed numbers and with decimals, so you get like an idea of how to work on this type of numbers. Okay, so if you understand how to work on this type of numbers, then you can extend it to other exercises. And to start, we're going to our board and we're gonna start with some exercises about it. So let's start with some addition or subtraction of fractions or mixed numbers, and I'm going to show you the strategy that you can follow to add or subtract integers, that is remembering the fact that we can divide our addition of mixed numbers into two parts. Okay, so you can always divide the addition of two mixed numbers into two parts. So I'm going to put two mixed numbers. I'm going to guess 3 and 2/5 minus 5 and let's say that the number is going to be 1/6. Okay, so I'm going to operate this subtraction, or to do this subtraction of integers, or this addition of integers, because this is an addition of integers. If you remember, in integers we have that adding a negative number is the same as subtracting a positive number, so the addition and subtraction becomes the same operation. Now, what is the strategy you can follow here? Now, I always recommend that you start doing an estimation. Why it's important to do an estimation? Because when you estimate, you can know your answer, where it goes. You can know your answer until which point it goes. So for example, if I estimate this number 3 and 2/5, it's going to be 3/2, it's closer to 3, and 5 and 1/6 is closer to 5. So it means that this operation, if I estimate it, it will be the same as 3 minus 5. And 3 minus 5, if you remember, or if you go and watch the video that I did about addition of integers, you will find that this operation is going to be 3 minus 5. So it's going to be like having an arrow of distance 3 in this direction, and then put an arrow of distance -5 in this direction. So it means that this is going to be our addition that it's going to be -2. So the answer is -2. Okay, so I already have my estimation. I know that the answer is around -2. So when I operate my mixed numbers, I'm gonna get a number closer to -2. If I don't get a number closer to -2, it's because I did something wrong. And this is why it's important to do estimations in many ideas. In most cases, you can try to do estimations. So I'm going to subtract the integers. So I'm going to focus just in the integers part. So I'm going to subtract the integers. 3 minus 5 equals -2. Okay, so I got the subtraction of the integers is going to be -2. And now I'm going to focus on fractions. So if you want to operate addition of mixed numbers, this could be a good strategy that you forget, go with the integers, go with the fractions, and operate them. In this case, it's going to be 2/5 minus 1/6. And remember that if you want to add two fractions, you need a common denominator. In this case, we need the highest common factor between 5 and 6. Highest common factor between 5 and 6 is just the multiplication because they are coprime. So I'm going to multiply my fraction with denominator 5 times 6 and my fraction with denominator 5 amplified times 5. So this is going to give me 12/30 minus 5/30. And this subtraction is going to give me a positive number. So it's going to give me 12 minus 5, that is going to be 7/30. Okay? And now, if I want to reach my answer of my mixed number, if I want to write my answer, will be -2 plus, because it becomes positive, plus 7/30. So observe that here, what I'm doing is that I have a whole number that is negative plus a fraction that is positive. So there are many ways to do it, many options to do it, but what I recommend you to do is to divide this -2 into two numbers. And you may ask, what are the two numbers? So I'm going to take a unit, so -1 minus a unit. You know, I can write -2 as -1 minus 1. But this unit, I'm going to put it in terms of 30s. So 30/30 is 1. And using this information, I'm just going to operate my numbers. -30/30 plus 7/30 is going to be -1 minus, now I got the same sign, minus 23/30. Now, as this number has the same signs, I can rewrite it as a mixed number. Remember that a mixed number is just a contraction of the addition of a whole number with a fraction. So this is how you can add the fraction. This is how you can work on with addition of mixed numbers. So you focus on the integers, focus on the fractions, and then add the integer part that is solved with the fraction part. So what you just need to do, divide your integers, your mixed number, into integer part, fractions part, perform the operations, and then you will have the solution of your addition or subtraction. This is how you can work on mixed numbers, addition or subtraction of mixed numbers. Remember that in this case we use addition of fractions by using common denominator. There are other strategies, of course you have more strategies, but this is the strategy I think you can use. Hi, hello. Yes, we're taking information for term exam, of course. Okay, so this is about integers. Now we're going to see how to multiply and divide mixed numbers. I was talking about mixed numbers. So let's erase this and work on mixed numbers. Multiplication and division of mixed numbers. The strategy that I recommend you to use when you multiply or divide mixed numbers. Now, if you multiply or divide mixed numbers, here you cannot divide it in parts. Okay, at the first time it's better not to do it. Now if you reach like some level, you can do it, but right now I don't recommend that you, when multiply or divide mixed numbers, you use integers on one side and fractions on the other side. You need to convert the mixed number into an improper fraction. So this is what we're going to do. Now I'm going to put an exercise about multiplying or dividing mixed numbers. So let's say that I'm going to multiply or divide a mixed number. Let's put this mixed number. So imagine that we're going to do 3 wholes. Okay. Let's say that we're going to multiply 3 wholes and let's put again 2/5, and I'm going to multiply it by I'm sorry, I'm going to multiply it by let's say that I'm going to multiply it by 2, and no, I'm not going to use 2/5 for a reason. I'm going to use 3/5, and I'm going to multiply it with 2 and over 6 1/2, 2 and 1/2. Okay, so this is the one I'm going to multiply. 3 wholes 3/5 times 2 wholes and 1/2. Now the first thing is that you must convert these mixed numbers into improper fractions. So if you want to convert these numbers into improper fractions, remember that this mixed number is just 3 times 5, 15 plus 3, 18 over 5 times, so I can do it like here. So imagine that this is 3 times 5 plus 3 over 5. And in this case it's going to be 2 times 2 plus 1 over 2. So this is going to be 5 over 2. Now observe that you have now your multiplication. Now what I recommend you all time is to work on simplifying common factors. Why simplifying common factors for me is the best method? Because at the end the answer is going to be a simplified fraction. So you can multiply 18 times 5, 5 times 2, simplify. But if I simplify common factors now, I'm gonna get a simplified fraction. So the objective now is to identify common factors between these fractions. So for example, a common factor between 18 and 2. To identify common factors, remember that you just need to identify numerator and denominator. One numerator and one denominator. So identify common factors between these two. 18 divided by 2. So a common factor between 18 and 2 is going to be 9. So I'm going to divide this by 9. So 18 divided by 9 is 2. And 2 divided by 2 is 1. So I'm putting it in black color that I divide by 2. I'm sorry, 18 divided by 2 is 9, not 2. Okay, 9. Now I'm going to use another color to find another common factor. So for example, this factor, 5 and 5. One numerator is 5, one denominator is 5, so I have another common factor that is 5, so I'm going to divide by 5 both. So 5 divided by 5, 1. 5 divided by 5, 1. Here let's say that my line means divided by 2. And in green I did divided by 5. Now after I did this operation, I just need to multiply the numerators that I got left and the denominators that I got left. So in this case, I'm just going to multiply 9 times 1. I'm going to do column form to solve expressions. So I'm going to write my answer here. 9 times 1 is going to be 9 over 1 times 1, that is going to be 1. And 9 divided by 1 is 9. Okay? So in this case, what I'm doing is just simplifying common factors first. and then I get my answer. You can do it in another way. Of course, you can do it in another way. 18 times 5 is 90. 5 times 2 is 10. And if you divide them, you're gonna get 9. Okay? However, I recommend you to use this method to operate mixed numbers. Look at that, I got 9 here. And what happens if I estimate? If I estimate these 3, if I estimate these 3 and 3/5 will be around 4, and these 2 and 1/2 will be around, could be 3. 4 times 3 is around 12. So my estimation matches around my number. Okay? So this is how you can estimate. The estimations helps you to know whether your answer is correct. Every time you multiply fractions, I recommend you to use this strategy of common factors, because sometimes it's better. I'm going to put you an example in which is better to use common factors than multiplying. Okay, so I'm going to show you an example. Let me see if I can erase here. Okay, I blank everything. Now let's say that I'm going to put this fraction, 36 over 15 times, let's put times 10 over 27 times, and now let's put let's say that we put 21 over, let's put 16. Okay, so imagine that you're asked to multiply these 3 fractions. And if you use the usual method, that is multiplying the 3 numerators and the 3 denominators, it's gonna take you time to multiply 36 times 21, maybe times 10 is easy, but it's gonna take you time to do it. And it's gonna take you time to multiply 15 times 27 times 16, right? So as it's gonna take you a lot of time, it's better to find out common factors. Common factors. So if you already know me while I speak and explain the common factors, maybe you can write in the chat if you identify common factors between any numerator and any denominator. So you can choose any numerator and any denominator and try to play with it. You can use, for example, rules of divisibility to understand what are the factors you have, or to find out common factors. Or you can try to identify highest common factor between numbers to make it easier. So you have a bunch of possibilities to do it. Now, I'm going to try to identify common factors. If you identify any common factor, write it in the chat and observe numerators and denominators to find it. So I'm going to start, for example, with a common factor between 36 and maybe 27. A common factor between 36 and 27 is 9. So I can divide by 9. Let's put with black that I'm going to divide by 9. So I'm going to divide by 9. 36 divided by 9 is 4. And 27 divided by 9 is going to be 3. So I already start my division. Now I'm going to use another color, maybe green, to identify another common factor. There are many common factors here. For example, let's say between 10 and 15, I identify that there's a 5 as a common factor. So I'm going to divide by 5. 10 divided by 5 is going to be 2, and 15 divided by 5 is going to be 3. More common factors, let's put it in red. Try to identify another common factor. So let's say, for example, 21 has a common factor with one of these 3. So I'm going to divide by 3. So 21 divided by 3 is going to be 7. And 3 divided by 3 is going to be 1. And try to find out more common factors, more common factors. I'm going to use now this color to find another common factor. For example, between this 4 and this 16, I have another common factor that is 4, right? So I'm going to divide by 4. So divided by 4 is 1, divided by 16 is going to be 4. Let's try to find out more common factors. Observe and try to identify more common factors. Look at, there's a 2 here and a 4 here. So I can put another common factor that is 2. So I can divide by 2. I'm going to divide this 2 by 2 to give me 1. This 4 divided by 2 gives me 2. So now I already finished. I don't have more common factors. I already finished to simplify all the common factors I have. And as I already have, I can just multiply numerators and denominators. 1 times 1 times 7, 7 over 3 times 1 times 2, 6. So my answer of this multiplication of 3 fractions that seems impossible, that seems it's gonna take me a lot of time multiplying 15 times 27 times 16, then find out common factors to simplify my fraction, becomes just the multiplication of 7 times 1 and 3 times 2. That is 7, 6. This is why it's easier to apply this method to multiply or divide fractions. This is why I think this is the best way to multiply and divide fractions. Now, what happens if I want to divide the fraction? Divide a fraction, in many places, they're going to tell you strategies that refers to try to understand, try to do a cross to divide a fraction, or try to use like kind of a near to divide the fractions and that stuff, okay? Even that these methods are valid, I suggest you to think in terms of what is the division by a fraction. And the division by a fraction is the same as a multiplication. Division is multiplying by the reciprocal. So what you can have in your mind is what is the reciprocal. So if you understand what is the reciprocal, you can multiply any fraction. I'm going to put an example with mixed numbers. Let's say that I'm going to do the mixed number 5 and 4/7. Okay, I'm going to divide by I'm going to divide it by 3 over let's put 28. Okay, so this seems like, my God, what is this thing? What I'm going to do to divide this fraction? I have no idea. Now, if you understand that division is just multiplying by the reciprocal, so you need to find out the reciprocal of this fraction. What is the reciprocal of this fraction? The reciprocal of this fraction is just flipping or changing, interchanging numerator and denominator. So the reciprocal is going to be 28/3. So what I'm going to do, or the exercise now becomes 5 and 4/7 times 28/3. Okay? And now I can apply the strategy to multiply fractions. So I'm going to convert this mixed number as a improper fraction. So it's 7 times 5 plus 4/7. 7 times 5, 35, plus 4, 39/7 times 28/7. And here it comes again, the game of identifying common factors. Numerator and denominator, identify common factors. So I'm going to use again colors. I'm going to use black to the first common factor that I identify. Try to identify the common factors. If you're here, write in the chat. If you're watching this video after it was live, so try to write what we're doing, how to do it, and that's it. Okay, try to identify how to do it. Now I'm going to divide by common factors. So for example, A common factor that is feasible to find out is that 28 is divisible by 7, right? 28 is a multiple of 7, so I'm going to divide by 7. 7 divided by 7 is 1, 28 divided by 7 is 4. Now I'm going to try to find out another common factor. Let's observe that 9 and 3, if I use divisibility rules, this is going to be divisible by 3, so I can divide it by 3. So I'm going to divide by 3. So dividing by 3 is going to give me 1, and 39 divided by 3 is going to be 13. And now what I have? I have 13 times 4, I'm going to write it here, over 1 times 1. Now this operation that seems like difficult, just by applying what I understand of dividing fractions, dividing mixed numbers, I just get that is the same as 13 times 4 divided 1 times 1. So you just need to multiply 13 times 4, that is 52. So I got 52. This is going to be the division of fractions. And this is how you can operate fractions, mixed numbers, and everything. So this is the idea when you operate mixed numbers. So just bear in mind that the strategies that I'm showing you here helps you to have simplest form and helps you to work out in a way that you can get the answers, I guess, that quicker. Doesn't mean that the other methods are wrong. I guess that these methods gives you a quicker answer and a simplified answer. That is what we're looking for. If you use other strategies, the problem with other strategies sometimes is that it's going to be a long of work multiplying, dividing, and on the other side, you're gonna need a lot of time, and sometimes we don't have time to do it. You know, it took me like 2 minutes doing the explanation and doing each exercise, so it's going to be better for you. And as I told you decimals, I want to end with multiplication and division of decimals. So I'm going to erase all lines, and I want to do just one exercise of multiplication and division of decimals. And I want to show you a strategy that it's not like the usual strategy that you can find in videos, but it's a strategy I think it's gonna help you a lot because it involves estimation and it's going to be used with what you know about whole numbers. Doesn't mean that is the best strategy. There are many strategies, maybe they are better than the strategy I'm going to show you. However, what is good of this strategy is that it helps you to work out with estimations. So I'm going to show you how to, for example, multiply 14 times 29 times, let's say that's 6. Okay, so I'm going to multiply this fraction, this decimal, and this whole number. Now, the usual strategy just tells you to multiply the numbers and count the number of decimal places that you have with your numbers with the decimals. That is a good strategy. Just multiply and then move the decimal places. But what could happen here, and what I've been observing many people, I'm observing many people that when they apply this strategy, sometimes they include decimal points when they are not required, and they didn't move properly the number of decimal places. For example, I have observed that when they try to do this strategy, they try to put 6.00 and they got a mess about it. Okay, they got a mess. And as I don't want you to have a mess, I recommend you, just to be sure that your multiplication is correct and that you're doing the correct work, just to be sure to start with an estimation. Start with an estimation. So I'm going to start estimating this result. That is going to be 14.29. I'm going to round it to 14 times 6. Okay? Oh, I don't want to multiply 14. I want to estimate. I want to do an estimation quickly. Okay, so maybe you can go to another estimation that is 10 times 6. So this answer is around 60. So if you want to be more precise or more accurate in your estimation, multiply 6 times 14. 6 times 4, 24. 6 times 1, 6. And 2, 8. 84. The objective of the estimation is that you know where to place the decimal point without thinking of how many places I need to move my answer. This is the objective of the estimation. So now I'm going to multiply the numbers. So I'm going to multiply 6 times 1429. Let's imagine that I have no idea where the decimal place goes. In this case, it's easy because we have two decimal places. The answer must have two decimal places. But I'm just going to multiply. 6 times 9 is 54. 5 left. 6 times 2 is 12. Plus 5 is 12 plus 5 is 17. 6 times 4 is 24 and 1, 25. And 6 times 1, 6 and 2, 8. Now I already have my multiplication, and what I'm going to do is to use my estimation 60 or 84 to match with my number. So because I don't know where to put the decimal place. Let's say I don't know. I know that I should move to decimal place, but I don't know. So if I put the decimal point here, I got 8.5. That is not close to 84. But if I put my decimal point here, I'm going to get 85.74. That is a number around 84. And this is why the estimation helps you to place the decimal point. Because sometimes, especially when the last number is 0, people don't know if the two places are count from the 0 or if they can avoid the 0. But if you work out with estimation first, you will know how you can get the answer. In this case, I place my decimal point to match my answer. Let's do it with division. Let's say that somebody asked me to divide 29.15 and I'm going to divide it by 5. So what I'm going to do first, I'm going to do my estimation. My estimation will be 29 divided by 5. But here is the problem. Oh, maybe 29 divided by 5 is not easy to know, but I can think in terms of 30 divided by 5. It's okay. It's an estimation. It's an estimation. You need to know what is the number around. So 30 divided by 5 is around 6. So I know that this answer is around 6. I know that. It's around 6. Now I'm going to divide. I'm going to forget that there's a decimal place. Okay? Just forget that there's a decimal place. Imagine there's no decimal place and divide. So I'm going to divide 29 and 15 divided by 5. So I'm going to 29. So 29 is going to be 5. 5 times 5, 25. Subtract. 29 minus 25 is 4. I'm going to move 1 here. 41. So I'm going to put 8. 8 times 5, 40. So it's going to give me 1. Then I'm going to move the 5 here. 15 is going to be 3. 3 times 5, 15. 15. Okay, I don't think you can see the board properly, but I guess you can see the division. Now imagine that, I don't know, in some methods they just tell you, hey, when you reach the decimal point, just put the decimal point. But in this case, let's say I don't know, I have no idea. I know that my division gives me these three numbers, 5, 8, and 3. Now, I just need to put my decimal point to match my estimation. So if I put the decimal point here, it's going to give me 58.3. So obviously, it's not going to match my estimation. So I'm going to put it in a way that it matches my estimation, 5.83. So if you estimate the number, the answer, then you can know what happened to the decimal point. You know where to place the decimal point. This is a good strategy. I think that it's a good strategy because it helps you to put the decimal point before thinking, oh, where do I put the decimal point? What could be the option? I know there are many strategies to divide decimals and to multiply decimals, and maybe You can find them better than the strategy I'm showing you here, but the idea is to show you one strategy that may help you, that is by using the estimation. The estimation helps you a lot to understand where to place the decimal point. And that's it. That's it. This is what I wanted to show you in this video. I'm sorry for being so late. I got 1 hour late because of traffic, because of the rain and everything. But the idea is to continue working on remembering how to add, how to subtract, how to operate numbers, and many other ideas that we can work on here in these sessions. So I hope that this video helps you. If you were alive, thanks for watching. If you have any question, just let me know and I will try to help you to improve for your mathematics skills. See you in the next video. Bye bye. Thanks for watching. It was just 35 minutes. I hope that is not a lot for you. You can watch it anytime you want it. Bye bye.